Would you be amenable to making a quick run to the store before we continue? Just heading to the store to grab some strawberries. You just need some strawberries for the strawberry shortcake. Believe it or not, the strawberries I bought yesterday were moldy, so gotta get new strawberries.
We're going to the store.
Go to the store. Never shop at Tops.
Alright, we're at Hannaford. We made it. Let's hope they have the strawberries.
Happy to be here. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Cooking Corner with me, Giuseppe CrimiVaroli. Today for you, we're going to be making one of my grandma's specialties, a strawberry shortcake. Now in terms of ingredients, you're going to need the following. You're going to need a yellow cake mix and all of the ingredients for that. That would be vegetable oil and eggs. You're also going to need some fresh strawberries, some Cool Whip, and some frozen strawberries in syrup. Now, these can be difficult to find, so if you can't find these, I'll show you how to do it without this. In terms of hardware, you're going to need the following. You're going to need a 13x9 baking dish. You're going to need tin foil for that dish. You're going to need a large mixing bowl to make your cake. You're going to need a rubber spatula and a large serrated knife. You're going to need a cutting board. You're going to need a small knife that is serrated preferably, but it doesn't have to be. You're going to need measuring spoons and a measuring cup. You're going to need a fork, and you'll need 2 more mixing bowls if you have to macerate your strawberries. If you don't, you'll only need 1 more mixing bowl. Step number 1, as always, is going to be wash your hands. Go ahead, turn the water on, stick your mitts underneath, and get them nice and moist. Once your hands are nice and wet, go ahead and add some soap. 2 squirts is my preference. Rub that soap all around, get in between the fingers on the back of the knuckles. And once your hands are sufficiently soapy, stick them back into the water and wash all that soap off. Once you're done, you can turn the water off, grab a towel, dry your hands off, and we're ready to cook. Moving right along to step number 2. And step number 2 is going to be macerate the strawberries if you have to. You don't have to macerate the strawberries if you find strawberries in syrup. But if you don't, you need to macerate the strawberries. So this is how you do that. What you're going to need to do for this step is cut up 1 package of strawberries into little bits and add them to a bowl. Then you're going to add to that bowl 1/2 cup of sugar. You're going to let the sugar and the strawberries sit for a little while as the sugar draws out the juices of the strawberries. That will simulate the syrup from the strawberries in syrup, and that is why you're going to be using this. Now you're going to let your strawberries and sugar sit and macerate for about 45 minutes to an hour. If you were able to find frozen strawberries in sugar or syrup, then you can skip step 2 entirely and go right on to step number 3. This is the package you're looking for. Moving on to step number 3. And step number 3 is going to be bake your yellow cake mix as directed on the box. Now, you probably don't need me to tell you how to do it, considering it says it on the back of the box, but just for fun, you want to take the package that's in here, 3 eggs, a half cup of vegetable oil, and 1 cup of water, and combine them in a bowl until it's fully combined. Once you've whipped up your cake batter, you can add it to a 13x9 baking dish and stick it in the oven at 350 degrees for 23 to 28 minutes. Once your cake is done, you can take it out of the oven, take it out of the pan, and let it cool completely. While your cake is cooling, you can head right along to step number 4. And step number 4 is going to be make your strawberry mixture. What you're going to need to do is add 1 16-ounce container of frozen strawberries and syrup to 1 8-ounce container of Cool Whip. If you don't have the strawberries and syrup, you can use the macerated strawberries from earlier. While you're waiting for your cake to cool, you can cut the ends off of a couple more strawberries and use those as decoration for your cake. Our cake is almost cool, which means it's time to move on to step number 5, which is going to be cutting your cake. Now I know what you're thinking. Cutting your cake is usually the last step of eating a cake. Well, you're not entirely wrong, but we're not cutting it to eat it. We're cutting it in half, top to bottom. What you're going to want to do is grab your largest serrated knife, line it up with the side of the cake, and cut off an even layer from the top. Now that your cake is cut, it's time for step number 6. And step number 6 is going to be layer your cake. Now, it's important to note that before you start layering your cake, you want to move the bottom piece to whatever plate you're going to be serving off of, because it's going to be very difficult to move it once it's full of strawberries and Cool Whip. Once you've done that, you can add your strawberry mixture to the center of your cake. Then, using your spoon, you want to just spread it out without making it go over the side, which I already did. Once you've got the strawberry layer on your cake, you can put the top on and sandwich it. Just like that. Now a little bit of the strawberry mixture is going to come out of the sides. Don't worry about that, that's natural. Moving on to step number 7, and step number 7 is going to be decorate your cake. Now, with another container of Cool Whip that you've got, just cover the top and sides of the cake with the plain Cool Whip, and then you can drop those strawberries on the top that you cut up earlier. Ta-da! Your very own strawberry shortcake. It's time for the final step, which is going to be plating. So, go ahead, get yourself a sharp knife, and cut yourself a slice of your very new strawberry shortcake. Once you've got your cake on your plate, you're ready to enjoy. Delicious! Just like Grandma used to make. Now, you may want to wait a few hours before serving the strawberry shortcake to give the strawberry Cool Whip time to soak into the top and bottom layers of the cake. That concludes this week's episode of Cooking Corner with me, Giuseppe CrimiVaroli. I hope you enjoyed this sweet treat that my grandmother used to make that made me happy, and I hope it makes you happy too. If you like this video, leave a like below. If you like videos like this, subscribe to the channel. I'm always putting out new content. If there's something you want to see on this show, leave it in the comments and I will try to make it for you. Have a good day and bye-bye now.